Welcome everyone. I'm your host Chris Platte of this Untitled Unmastered show brought to you on behalf of Imperial. Now, there's no way to sugarcoat it. 2020 was hard on all of us. We had a lot of unfortunate happenings this year. We had rappers tragically passing away and being targeted at an alarming rate. We had a global pandemic. We had a trash election. We had a country that has reached its boiling point on social inequality. We've had Logic's retirement. It's been a tough year. I believe I'm an overcomer, but there's just some things that are just too tough. Now, as far as the music industry goes, 2020 was a different year. I started off with a live performance, believe it or not. We were actually able to perform live at the start of 2020. And when I performed live, I talked about the expectations of 2020 being a big year for hip hop. I'm talking the big dogs, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake, all albums expecting from them. And we ended up getting none of them. Instead, we got a trend of bullshit deluxe albums, which were an album followed by a couple weeks later, or even a few months later, you had just bonus tracks come out from this album that just weren't good. They weren't good enough to make the first album. And then they had different cover arts. And that just really messed with my OCD because now I have two albums in my library with the same title, different cover arts, different songs, trying to remember which is the good copy, which is the bad copy. It really just drove me crazy. Perhaps the biggest story of hip hop this year was Meg Thee Stallion allegedly being shot by Tory Lanez. Think about it. This is not just a 2020 hip hop story. This is something that in the whole history of hip hop, we're going to look back on this moment, and we're going to look back on a story that involved one of hip hop's most beloved, respected, revered, talented artists. And this also involved Tory Lanez. We got a jam-packed first episode for you. No features today. I'm on my J. Cole shit, so let's make this video go double platinum. I know that's low-hanging fruit, but it's an easy joke and I had to do it. Shout out my guy J. Cole. This will be an episode where I'll be looking at my favorite albums of the year, my all hip-hop first team, and of course, my favorite lines of 2020 that certainly prove I could never be a rapper, but I'm gonna try anyways. Let's go. All right, first up, our 2020 all hip hop first team. Now, if you watch NBA, you know that they have the first team at the end of each year, which is the best players. So I got the 5 best hip hop artists of this year who just absolutely crushed in 2020. Starting with, of course, none other than my MVP, Hit Boy. Hit Boy has been producing his ass off. He's made records for all sorts of artists, and he's also done executive productions for Nas, for Benny, for Big Sean. Every beat that you've heard this year has either stemmed from Hit Boy or Hit Boy has inspired. Hit Boy just killed 2020, so he's got to be the MVP. Coming up right behind him, I got my man Benny the Butcher from Griselda, the leader of Griselda, the dude who has established himself as the coolest drug rapper, officially surpassing Pusha T. Next up on my all hip hop first team of 2020, I got my man Uzi the Rockstar, put out 3 fire albums this year. Not something many artists can do, especially with his status, outselling pretty much everybody and their mama in first week sales. Then following that, I got my guy, arguably the co-MVP of 2020, Lil Baby. Look, he's had a fire year, dropped an amazing album, killed a lot of features, had a great political song, The Bigger Picture. But somebody, I don't know who, maybe Offset, somebody needs to teach this dude how to cheat right. Flat out, man, you can't be doing this shit. And okay, maybe Offset's not the best example, but he can at least show you how to, get that tension at home back to normal. Lastly, to round it out, I got the rap father, Black Thought. He has just absolutely destroyed the feature game this year, eviscerating every beat that he's been on. And on top of that, he released a very quality project in Streams of Thought Volume 3. Black Thought is showing that once again, the older you get in rap, the better you get if you stay working at your craft. It's time for everybody's favorite part of year-end wrap-ups, and that is ranking albums. It was a great year for rap, and it was a great year for R&B, but I'm sticking with just rap here. So this is my top 5 rap albums of the year. If you want to see more, go to my podcast, Strictly Hip Hop and Strictly Hoop Talk. I had a year-end wrap-up with my boys, John Adams and Chris Adams, and we broke down the list more in depth. But here's my top 5 just to give it to you quickly. Number 5 on my list, I have Eternal Atake, Eternal Atake. Nobody knows how to say it, but the Lil Uzi album. This was a very strong return for Uzi. He tried to do a little bit of conceptual work with the album. It didn't fully hit, but the music was there, the energy was there, and it was just great to hear Uzi again, making all the records and party anthems that we love. Number 4, I got The Allegory by Royce da 5'9". Grammy nominated, by the way, much deserved. Shout out to Royce da 5'9". This was an album that really showed Royce's full potential as an artist, as he was able to deliver a long project with a lot of great, interesting beats that he made, by the way. This was Royce's first album being his own producer, and it really showed. It really gave Royce the ultimate freedom to rap at the prolific level that he knows he wants to, and that made for a great project that tackled a lot of social inequality and just a lot of strong political messages throughout the album. So check it out if you like good rap and socially conscious messaging. Number 3, I got Burden of Proof by Benny the Butcher and Hit Boy. Now this collaboration album was one of the biggest moments of the year. Hit Boy was on a tear, as we all know, but then combining that with Griselda and keeping it Griselda while also making it commercial was very key. There was more hooks on it than a normal Griselda project, but he also kept it to this street, boom bap, raw, guttery sound that we love so much from Griselda, which made Benny the Butcher shine through completely. You still get the mobster skits that you love from Benny, and you get the Mad Rapper skit at the end, which was very dope and a nice homage and salute to Notorious B.I.G. Plus, Burden of Proof for a Griselda album is probably one of the hardest album titles you can ever come up with. So shout out Benny the Butcher and Hit Boy for that one.
Number 2, I have Amine Limbo. Now, quite frankly, this feels like Amine's magnum opus. This feels like his version of trying to make a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy or a Graduation. This is Amine setting out to prove that I am not just an artist that made, songs like Caroline. I'm an artist that can actually give you a full body of work, a nice album, and that's exactly what he did with it. It's very well paced, everything ties together. There's a lot of reoccurring themes, the beats are cohesive. Amine just really showed off his personality, his charisma, and everything that makes an artist and makes a great album is Limbo. And my number one, the only Detroit album that is better than Royce's own Allegory is Big Sean's Detroit 2. Now, Detroit 2 is an album that it has a lot of songs, but it's got perfectly placed features. The skits that tell stories about Detroit are all great, except the Erykah Badu one, which was basically just some freaky shit that he put in so he can get off that freaky record with Janae. But other than that, the album is just very well told. The Dave Chappelle story is absolutely awesome. And then the Stevie Wonder story at the end is really cool. He's got so many great songs. He's got everything you want from Big Sean, being gone for 3 years. It's kind of like the John Connor thing where he was away for so long that he had so much to give. And I felt like 21 tracks and no misses. It's just a really special and really hard thing to do in today's microwave era. And I feel like Big Sean did that. And Hit Boy, of course, deserves all the credit as well. And Dom Kennedy for their help on the production side of it. But Big Sean has rapped his ass off. He stepped up lyrically. He gave us more content. Again, the beats are so full. They're so complete. Everything about this just feels like it's Big Sean's best body of work to date. And I think that's why it's the number one album of 2020.
Now, as I said, 2020 has been a tough year on all of us. So I went through all the music I listened to, all 1,500 hours, and I narrowed it down to my favorite lines of 2020, the most humorous, lighthearted lines. And this is a way for me to also live out my dream of trying to be a rapper, but never quite talented enough to do it. So let's start with Drake on BB King Freestyle. BB King Freestyle, Drake says, "Shorty makes a scene in the house, she get locked out of it." Now this is funny to me because we all know Drake is petty when it comes to women, but imagine the biggest pop star arguably ever, definitely our generation. This dude is amassing billions of streams. He has a house in Toronto, a mansion called the Embassy. That's how big it is. Now imagine, Drake is so petty, he kicks a girl out of the Embassy and she is trying to get back in, and Drake is running around this gigantic mansion, just locking each door before she can get to it.
Imagine the biggest pop star in the world being that petty. And that's something that I could definitely see Drake doing. Next, we have Meg Thee Stallion's song Shots Fired, which is a response to Tory Lanez saying, "You shot a 5'10" bitch with a 22. Now, this is where my respect for Meg comes in, because she has an unbelievable talent to just absolutely emasculate men and still make men like me listen to her music. So shout out to Meg for that. Now, the last line of 2020 to close out this segment comes from none other than my boy Logic on Open Mic /Aquarius 3. Quote, "Fuck rap."
I've said it many times today, but 2020 has been hard on all of us, and the hip hop world is no exception. These artists have been unable to tour, and with unjust streaming services, they have been hit hard just like us everyday people. So please, I strongly encourage you, if you are financially able to and would love to support your favorite artist, the best way to do so is to go to their website and either buy a vinyl or some of their merchandise. That is the way that they get the most cut of the money. And that's the best way to provide for an artist during these hard times that we are all going through together. Now, 2021 is off to a crazy start. There's a lot of division, but I want this platform right here to be a platform of unity and togetherness. Let's all come together and enjoy the art form and the culture we love so much. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Next episode, I will be back with guests to preview 2021 and what to expect with my guests. Of course, this will be more lit than a Royce da 5'9" Clubhouse chat room, I promise you. In the meantime, please feel free to follow us on all of the social medias. Share this video, like this video, hit the bell thing. Check out my podcast, Strictly Hip Hop and Strictly Hoop Talk, wherever you get your podcasts. Stay tuned for everything Imperial, and like Logic on Dark Place, I am done. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.